Hey everyone, hope you're all doing great. In the last session, we learned about these three options from the Select Bone tool, and in this session, we're going to dive into part 2 of it together. Alright, for these options to be enabled, you need to draw one or more bones using the Add Bone tool. To start, I'll create a set of bones in the shape of a leg. Alright, as you can see, these bones are shaped just like a leg, and to make this leg move, all we have to do is simply move it around. To do this, just use the Manipulate Bones tool to move the bones around. For example, if we move this bone or even this one, you can see that it moves, but the movement isn't really professional yet. To make the movement more structured, we first need to create a joint for the leg. To do this, use the Add Bone tool and click on the desired point, but this time, make sure not to drag the click when creating the joint. The next thing to keep in mind is that we either need to name the joint or remember its default name. Right now, this joint is called B4. Now I need to select the bone above the joint, go into its settings, and choose B4 as the target bone. This way, B4 will act as a joint. Now, if I try to move the upper or lower bone, the leg won't move anymore. The only way to move the leg now is by moving the joint bone. If you look closely, you'll see that this creates a movement similar to pedaling a bicycle. Now let's learn another use of targeting. I'll draw two new bones, and when I draw the second bone, I'll make sure to first click somewhere empty on the screen so it doesn't attach to the previous bone and stays independent. Now I want to make it so that whenever the second bone moves in any direction, the first bone will always look in the same direction. Right now, if I move the second bone, nothing special happens. But if I connect the first bone to the second bone using the target section, now when I move the second bone, the first bone will look in the direction the second bone moves. However, the first bone won't affect the second bone's movement. Before I delete this bone, let me also teach you the Ignore by IK feature. Pay attention. When the target is selected and I click on Ignore by IK, now when I move the bone, the first bone won't look at the target bone anymore, and the target effect will be disabled. Alright, before I teach you about the Arc IK solver, I need to explain maximum IK stretching to you. Look, if I move the second bone in normal mode, the first bone doesn't stretch at all. But if I increase the maximum IK stretching value and then move the second bone again, you'll see that the first bone stretches along with it and then contracts back. This movement is one of its uses for animating the arms and legs of a character. You might have seen in some animations where the character's arms and legs stretch and contract. Next, the Arc IK solver. To understand how it works, we first need to draw an arc using bones. Now, if I move these bones, you can see that the curved shape completely falls apart and no longer looks like an arc. But if I select all the bones and activate the Arc IK solver, then when I move the bones again, the arc shape won't fall apart. In some cases, this tool is really helpful for maintaining the shape of an object. That's the second part of the Select Bone tools. If you'd like to become an animator too, make sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel.